Hello and welcome to the 38th installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, along with our co-host, Jordan.
That's me.
That's him.
That's me.
Jordan. What sort of platforms do you think you could find the podcast on? Do you know that
Do
we
I
could
know?
find the podcast
Okay,
on?
that's a different question.
What platforms do they exist on, Jordan?
So,
Tell us.
for just the podcast, you can always find us on YouTube. You can find us on most common podcast apps, including Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Spotify, Breaker, and Pocket Cast. Those apps we are in natively. And we also, of course, have our RSS feed. All of that's linked down below. You can import into your favorite podcasting app. So really, choice is up to you, my man. Look out for our shoddy at best, inconsistent IRL content as well on the U of Tubes.
This is true. We'll do more of it provided Jordan doesn't get COVID again and he doesn't have any more dentist appointments. I do. You fuck.
1 month from now.
What do you got to get done? You already got 85 cavities done.
More fillings. I had 7.
You only got 32 teeth, bro.
And I had 7 cavities.
What the fuck? You had 7?
Apparently, they never told me. They just scheduled me appointments, said these are for cavities. I did the last one, as we saw on the show. Then they were like, yeah, here's your next one. And then today, I was like, okay, so how many of these do I have? And he was like, oh, you have 5 left. And I was like, so I have 7. I did 2 last time in the upper left. I did 3 today on the top right.
So you still got 2 more cavities.
And then 2 in the bottom right. Yeah.
Bruh.
So.
Honestly, if it was me, I'd just say, fuck it. Just do them all. I'll just be numb for like a day. I don't care.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. The top left has been bothering the shit out of me for weeks now. Like, can't eat, can't drink, nothing. So.
Wait, after it got filled or before?
After.
Oh, that sucks.
So if they were, that's what I'm afraid of, is that it's still not better yet. I'm afraid now this is going to start killing me in a few days, and then I'll be fucked. But it's fine. I'll just get an IV tube. I'll start injecting McDonald's into my...
Straight up fucking fentanyl.
Fentanyl and McDonald's, yeah.
So, speaking of how you done gone and got COVID, I'm got my first vaccination already. By the time I don't know if this episode... By the time the next episode is out, for sure, I'll have my second one.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
I went to...
so you'll be done with your vaccine, so that's cool. That's pretty sweet.
I'll be fully vaxxed. And I got Pfizer. I heard it's not as bad as Moderna. My dad got Moderna. He was down for like 2 days.
Yeah, second shot usually kills you for about 2 days.
And my professor said he was down for like 2 days.
Yeah.
But I got Pfizer. I heard it's not as bad. And I'm a pretty strong sort of guy.
Chris just dies.
Knock on wood, but I haven't gotten sick, like really sick, in a long, long time. So
yeah. Well, you heard it here. If Chris dies, then it is what it is.
If I just keel over, I think maybe it's just all bottling up. It's just like it's all building within me, and then one day one thing is gonna happen. I'm gonna sneeze too hard, and I'm just gonna keel over. I'm just gonna fall over. My heart's gonna stop.
You're gonna be at work. You're gonna be doing something soldering, and all of a sudden you're just gonna fold over.
All of a sudden, I'm just gonna go, huh, and just fall over.
Just instantly dead.
All my organs all fail at once.
Yeah, right. But Chris, we have a busy agenda for today.
Yeah,
we do. And next episode.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, so we're not going to drag this on too long, but...
What are we kicking off with, boy?
What are we kicking off with? Well, we're about a month late. A month after we said we were going to do this, pretty much.
Blame COVID.
Because Jordan got COVID. So we saw Godzilla vs. Kong finally, and we said we were going to do it, so now we're going to do it, damn it, even though we're like a month late.
And when Chris says we saw Godzilla vs. Kong, he means approximately 4.5 minutes ago.
What were you looking for? What were you looking at?
I was just making faces. I was just looking around.
Oh, I thought you were gesturing to something.
No, I was gauging for that, gearing up for that bit about how 4 minutes ago is when we watched this fucking thing.
Well,
past tense saw.
You do it while it's
fresh in the brain,
fresh in the mind.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the movie. It was an enjoyable movie.
I would have enjoyed it more if HBO Max had a free trial.
I would have enjoyed it more, yeah, if it didn't hit $14.99 in my wallet.
But I would say it was an enjoyable movie, about as predictable as you would have thought.
Yeah.
You know, we knew it wasn't going to be ideal.
The thing that everyone thought was going to happen happened. Yeah. They teamed up at the end and fought Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
Who had gone rogue.
And Mecha Godzilla was, what was that other guy's name? The dead one that you knew?
Oh, King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah, yeah. It was actually him.
It's I think it's just Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is a alter ego of MF Doom, the rapper.
Oh, really?
I think it's just Ghidra is the monster.
So Ghidra, yeah, his conscience got uploaded, and then yeah, he was fucking evil.
They had like one of the Ghidra skulls, and it was like uploading data or some shit to Mechagodzilla.
DNA, yeah, right into his head.
And then Mechagodzilla gained sentience and started fucking things up. So Godzilla was fighting him, and then they revived Kong because Kong was pretty fucked up, and that was it. Kong and Godzilla both fought Mechagodzilla, and then they came to a mutual understanding and just decided to fuck off, both of them.
It had a couple cool moments. I'll be honest, like their fights were really cool.
Yeah.
Were they fighting the whole time? No, it was a lot of just people doing things.
Honestly, the movie could probably have been
45 minutes.
Yeah, like half the length. You would have gotten the same amount of story. They could have probably gotten rid of a good portion of that B plot. The only interesting thing that they revealed with that plot was Mechagodzilla. So there was, let's kind of backtrack here. There was two sorts of plots. There's this group of three people. There's like a podcast host who's like a conspiracy theorist guy, and then there's like a girl and her friend who's the worst. I hate that little fucker.
The friend is the worst.
The friend.
The girl is 11 from Stranger Things.
The girl played by Millie Bobby Brown. And then the guy, I don't know who the
guy
actor
was fucking
is.
awesome.
The guy, Bernie, that character, he's fucking cool. He was probably one of the best. He was the only good human character in that movie, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But basically, they go and they start poking around this facility where Godzilla had previously attacked. And they find Mechagodzilla. And that's the only thing they did. But they fucked around for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It took them an hour and 20 minutes to do that.
Yeah.
And then there's the other plot of the group of people trying to move Kong into the Hollow Earth.
Which is supposed to be where these monsters come from, so that Godzilla doesn't get wind of him and attack.
Yeah. But then he does.
And then he does anyway.
When they awaken Mechagodzilla, Godzilla goes over to Mechagodzilla, but then bores down into the earth, into the Hollow Earth, and then finds Kong, and then they start fighting.
I think Kong's plot was obviously the most interesting. It was kind of cool.
You see a lot of Kong in that movie.
Yeah, it's very much a Kong movie. And it was cool how he goes to the island, or to the Hollow Earth, I mean, and he gets, like, the Leviathanates. It's basically
he gets,
the Leviathanates.
he goes back to his home. They bring him there. He's told there might be family there, and then he goes and they're all dead.
Damn.
And then he gets the weapon, the stick that he fights Godzilla with.
And then Godzilla senses him, blows a hole, and knocks over the statue of Big Monkey, and he's pissed.
He does, yeah.
He's pissed.
He's pissed. Then he gets up, and they start fighting. And then you think Godzilla's going to win, and then Mechagodzilla shows up and starts fucking up Godzilla.
Yeah, Kong gets his dick wrecked in that fight.
Yeah, which I fully expected, honestly. Like, because Godzilla's a much more popular franchise.
Much more popular franchise, and it just...
There's a lot more Godzilla fans than there are Kong fans. The only reason I was a big fan of Kong was because I was like, haha, big ape.
Yeah.
I like,
Yeah. The other thing you have to consider, right, is, so basically what happens is, Kong gets, wrecked a little bit, comes back, gets wrecked a bit more, and, like, basically just is down for the count. And then Godzilla's kind of walking away, and that's when Mechagodzilla comes over and says, yeah. So it wouldn't have made as much sense, or it wouldn't have been as, like, climactic, because you'd get Godzilla versus Godzilla, essentially.
Yeah.
Compared to if Kong won, and then he fights another.
I'm bleeding.
Oh, no.
I'm bleeding.
Oh, no. But if Kong basically fights Godzilla, wins, and then fights another Godzilla,
That'd be lame.
But
so they
cool,
revive Kong. Essentially, they revive him, and then he comes back, and then he helps Godzilla defeat Mechagodzilla with the axe. He chops him up.
Yeah.
And then he drops the axe, and they basically shake hands and walk their separate ways.
Yeah. It was a cool movie. It's funny. It was cool how, like, Godzilla got dicked on by Mechagodzilla.
By Mechagodzilla. Yeah.
Like, it's humorous how dicked on he got.
Well, because, you said this when we were watching it. Well, while we were watching it, Godzilla and Kong, there was a pretty, like, even match. Mm. Like, they were pretty evenly matched.
It was like one gets up, one goes down, one gets up, one goes down.
Yeah, but Mechagodzilla was, like...
mopping the floor.
Yeah, he was like a high-level enemy compared to Godzilla.
He was like if I walked into the last Dark Souls boss at the beginning of the game somehow.
I mean, you'd be just as fucked either way. That
Yeah.
game is not forgiving.
Dude, he was just mopping the floor with him, like literally holding him by the tail and just spinning him and slamming him. Like it was brutal.
Yeah. So what'd you like about the movie? We kind of went over that sort of, but what'd you like about it specifically?
I liked specifically just Khan as like a character. Weirdly enough,
Yeah.
they gave him
He
like
had
just
an
enough personality.
An interesting character arc. Both Godzilla and Kong had like sort of human reactions to things.
Yeah. Yeah.
More so Kong because it's easier because he's like an ape.
And basically an older human.
Like we understand apes better than we understand lizards.
That are huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but there was a point where I think it was when Kong first shows up to help with Mechagodzilla. Godzilla looks up and his mouth is kind of agape, like a person.
Yeah. He's like, oh, thank God, like holy shit. Yeah.
So, but Kong has some very human reactions to things.
Yeah.
So I think he had a good character arc throughout the movie.
What else? What did you like? I have one other thing, but what did you like? Also?
The effects were really good.
The effects were. There was
The
a couple
CG
shoddy
was
ones.
amazing.
A couple.
It was very obvious that the budget went into the Godzilla, the Mechagodzilla, and the Kong CG, and then like a lot of the other monsters were pretty good. Mm-hmm. Like when they go into the Hollow Earth, like a lot of the other monsters there were really good.
Things and yeah.
But there's a scene where Kong rips this other lizard, like rips it in half. And
it just pops apart like a Lego.
And the guts are they're like straight up 90s CG. They look terrible. But the rest of it looks great.
Yeah, like the whole thing, like the monster itself looks good, and then when he's just in half, it's like
what
the fuck.
But the effects were pretty good.
I liked the effects, and also I've said this numerous times on the show. I am the sucker for the hero's journey, essentially, or like that climactic like hero returns type of thing. Like, I love that underdog story, kind of. So
you really liked when Kong came back?
Yeah, essentially. Like, I was literally sitting there, like, trying not to express it too much because we're just two boys watching the movie, and I'm like, come on, motherfucker, kill that motherfucker.
Yeah, kill him, get him.
Like, get him, boy. I love that. I love when there's, like, he's getting his ass kicked, and then he comes back, and he's, doing work, mopping the floor.
Yeah.
And the thing that was interesting, too, is, like, they did pretty good with the end with Mechagodzilla, where, like, Kong didn't just come back and mop the floor with him. He came back, started kicking it up, then got his ass kicked again, and they had to really work together.
And then they worked together. Essentially, when he first gets this axe, Kong, when he first gets this axe in Hollow Earth, it gets charged up by the ground, and by the end of his fight with Godzilla, the charge has been depleted essentially, and
during the fight, he also learns Godzilla can charge it as well when they fight each other.
And what happens is Kong is in a bad way fighting Mechagodzilla trying to help out, and he's got his axe out, and Godzilla charges the axe with his breath, and then he cuts all the limbs off of Mechagodzilla. He turns him into a quadriplegic.
Literally, yeah, just arms, legs, tail, and then he just detaches his head. Yeah. So fucking sick.
And then it was very much like, okay, that's it now. They get up and they look at each other and they like both do like a little nod, and Godzilla fucks off into the ocean, and then Kong just goes back to his home. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think there could have been a little more to that portion of it. Also, the Mechagodzilla fight, like when Kong does come back, was kind of short as well in general. And I can kind of understand why. I mean, you do have these 3 fucking monsters you have to animate. I do understand why, plus the city.
Like,
but
that
a little
probably,
more
that
substance.
Fight scene alone probably cost like a majority of the movie's budget.
Yeah. Just a little more substance to that would have been cool, because like as soon as that fight gets off, basically, Kong saves Godzilla. Then they grab Mechagodzilla and ram him headfirst into a building together.
This whole fight, by the way, the actual Godzilla versus Kong fight, the big one, is like the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
The whole other hour and 45 minutes is there's one other fight between Godzilla and Kong.
Yeah, a brief one.
A very brief one. And then basically they figure out, okay, we're going to stop making noise. And then Godzilla's going to leave, and then he does.
Yeah.
And then some other stuff happened. That was about it, really. There's like it could have the movie could have been a lot shorter.
It could have been a lot shorter. I mean, I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy it. I think it could have been shorter. Was it particularly Godzilla versus Kong for maybe 20 minutes?
Yeah.
And then the rest is just backstory, side story.
Like if you want Godzilla versus Kong, Godzilla and Kong fighting, watch the last half hour of the movie.
Yeah, just
That's
skip.
all the
Just
context
skip to
you
like
need.
the half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was an enjoyable time. I think it was cool. It was about I went in with the right expectations. I knew they're not gonna kill each other.
I didn't go in expecting like a masterpiece, you know.
Yeah, but it was a good time.
But I had a good time. It was a good movie.
Yeah, for sure. I'd rate it like a 6 out of 10.
It was definitely a 6 out of 10. I would say 2 because it was and mind you, like probably 4 out of 6 of those points go to that end fight.
Yeah. And then so 4 out of 6 for me go to the end fight, and then 1.5 of those points goes to just the hero's journey, and then the other half a point is like when they discovered Mechagodzilla.
That I think 4 of the points for me is that one fight scene, and then the other 2 points are for Bernie.
Oh, Bernie, yeah.
He was the only good human character in that movie, honestly.
He just has some good ass lines. He's just funny as shit.
He was very funny.
Yeah.
He was the comic relief character.
He also had a lot of like expressions that you can tell like they don't usually script the expressions.
He was a good actor.
Yeah, it's very like improv. It's good.
I don't know the actor's name. I've seen him before, but he must have come from like an improv background, I guess.
I would think so. Yeah. Some of those lines were not scripted. Like you can just tell by how like well they are. Like I don't think someone sat down and wrote that.
He was very well delivered. A lot of his lines too. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, watch it for Bernie.
I hope he gets more roles.
Yeah, watch it for Bernie, and maybe that's not his real name, but watch it for that character Bernie. And
some of you might recognize the actor. Some people actually watch movies.
True. But without going on much further,
yeah, we didn't want this to run super long, so we're pretty much on target now. So
yeah, so that was
a lot of shit to talk about.
That was our synopsis.
That was it. It was decent.
It was decent. Yeah. And you did pay the $15 for HBO Max, but that was, like you said earlier, technically cheaper than going to a movie theater.
It was, yeah.
Do you get like the experience? Not necessarily, but
like even like if you saw it regular in a theater, it's like I don't know, $20 or something.
Yeah. So and it was cool. It was a good time. I mean, I'm glad we watched it. Glad I got to at least see it.
The only thing about the theater is you don't have to get up every so often and coax your cat out of off the table.
You know what I love too? We took notes and didn't even use them.
I mean, all my notes were pretty much.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the 8 dead.
Yeah, we can mention that really quick.
Basically, you can backstory. It's funny.
Yeah, the initial attack that Godzilla does, the very first attack this happens
on Hong Kong, not on King Kong. It was on the city.
This was in Florida.
Oh, was it Florida?
Okay. Florida facility that was attached to the facility that had Mechagodzilla. His first attack on that facility was huge. It was like 20 minutes into the movie, something like that.
Smashed planes.
He's like smashed
trucks,
planes, he's throwing stuff, smashing buildings,
blowing fire breath everywhere.
And then there's a scene afterwards showing a news report on this attack and said that 8 people were killed
and hundreds were injured.
8.
But he destroyed like 6 fighter jets, so that's 6 of the people.
Yeah, he just like he was wrecking shit, and then he's like, 8 people.
Yeah.
Oh, they did mention why he did that, because in that orb that Bernie sees, in that orb, that's where one of the other heads of Ghidra is.
So he was going after it, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just funny when that came up. We looked at it. First, we were laughing that it was actually CNN branded.
Yeah, it was like real CNN. It was weird.
And then I read the headline and I was like, Chris, 8 dead, and we just started fucking crying, laughing. Like, yeah, okay.
Stupid.
He just destroyed an entire city.
He just wiped a city off the map.
And 8
people died.
Yeah, should have been more like 8,000 or 800. Like.
Yeah.
But still, good movie. We can move on to our first topic so we don't get caught in the
rabbit hole.
But anything you want to start with? Well, first of all, let's just kick it off like we usually do too. How you been? Aside from today.
Fucking busy, dude.
Busy?
You know what I did yesterday?
What would that be?
I worked for 9 hours, and then I got home, and I slept for like 2 hours, because the night before Thursday night, I only got like 2 hours of sleep. So I slept for a couple hours. I woke up at like 9. And then from 9 to 1:30, I did math homework.
In the morning?
Yes.
God damn.
From 9 to 1:30, I did math homework.
You drank less coffee today than usual. At least around me.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, no, I had 1 cup, and then, so 2 cups of Death Wish coffee. So that's like a
What the hell's
shitload
Death
of
Wish
caffeine.
coffee? What is Death Wish coffee? It's just highly caffeinated?
Yeah. It's, Death Wish coffee is like one of the cups that I had. It's like a 12-ounce cup. Has like 600 and something milligrams of caffeine.
Holy shit, yeah. That is,
That's
that's a bit.
That's the one thing I like about my size is like I can just tank caffeine. Like it just doesn't matter. I've not had an incident where I've had too much caffeine.
Yeah.
I've had an incident where I've had too much at once.
Yeah.
Where like I get jitters for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Where when I used to work at Burger King, I would have an 11 a.m. shift on like a Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I would wake up at 10 and I would just down like 2 cups of coffee and a Monster. And I would have I would have shaky hands
Flipping
when I was
burgers.
clocking in.
Shaking while flipping burgers.
I would have shaky hands as I was clocking in. And then after a little while it would go away.
Yeah. You're like trying to swipe your punching card, you're like all over the place.
See, it was interesting because that not only did I not flip burgers, I didn't have a punching card either. I just like would walk up to the terminal, the little register, and just go boop boop boop. My number was like 123 or some shit. And the way they cook burgers at Burger King, they have this big machine, and there's a big plate on it. So essentially, you position out your burgers. There's like 12 or something you can put on there, and you put the press down, and you slide them into a firebox.
Mm-hmm.
And then after like 90 seconds, it spits out the burgers.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's fine. That sounds kind of cool. Yeah.
But then some people would forget to push the button. They would forget to push the button, so like, something smells weird. And you would have to force eject your burgers, and like hockey pucks would come out the side.
It shoots out, hits someone in the ribs. You just hear a crack. Like
Yeah, they'd probably kill somebody.
Yeah.
But a guy, one time I think, like on one of my first days there, one guy wasted like a bunch of burgers.
Really?
That.
God damn.
But anyway.
Anything else aside from just the school?
No, I got finals coming up. So
that's pretty hyped though.
Really.
At least once it's done, you know.
I'm so fucking ready for this shit to be over. I'm so mad.
Why?
I just I don't know, because I got so much going on already. Like I don't need this shit, man.
Yeah.
And they're like, the university like constantly gets worse. There's like classes I need to take now that I just straight up can't because another class that I need wasn't offered this semester, and it's not being offered this next semester, and it's not being offered in the spring either. So what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I emailed my department chair because that's what they told me to do. They said email your department chair, and I did that. And I said, hey, what am I supposed to do? And they said, he said, because he didn't respond.
I was waiting for the punchline there too. I was like, what'd he say? What an ass. He hasn't responded. How long ago was that?
I emailed like Wednesday or Thursday maybe.
It's like 4 days later. Jesus Christ. That's pretty shitty. Yeah. Pretty shitty.
Yeah. So that's that. What about you, Jordan?
Honestly, I've just been fucking vibing, dude.
I'm honestly just fucking chilling at this point.
I got over COVID, fucking been working, come home from work, do chores, whatever needs to be done, play whatever game I can for a little bit, fucking trying to get into reading again, fucking same thing, go to work, come home, went to a wedding, that was fine, that was fun.
Went to a wedding.
Fucking, I'm just biding my time until May, honestly, that's when all the good stuff comes out.
All the good stuff happens in May. I've actually been like doing certain things for like my own channel. Like I've been writing videos. Like I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with the channel really.
Mm-hmm.
And I've written a couple videos. I got one that's gonna be like kind of a more serious video, and there was one that I wanted to do today, which was sort of a channel update, if anything. But then essentially what was gonna happen was Jordan said he had a dentist appointment. What time? Like 2 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
And then I got pushed up to 12, and I figured by the time the whole bit of the video was I was going fishing. And I was like, by the time I get out there, it'll already be like 12, and then I only have like 45 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it today.
Yeah, fucking the dentist. I just want to get this dentist shit over too. That's it. So that's the other thing too. I've been just like suffering, dude. I had COVID, got over that, and now the fucking fillings I had, it's like I couldn't drink warm, like room temperature water. I could not drink it for like a week.
Bro.
And now I still can't really drink certain things that are cold. It just fucking hurts, dude. So now I have these 3 new fillings, and I'm like, great. I'm just gonna be completely incapacitated at this point.
Bro.
It's like so fucking annoying. Dude.
That's why I would say. That's why I said I would just rather just do them all at once and then just suffer.
Yeah.
For a little while. Because like I don't know if you ever had them, but I had braces for like 3 years.
I didn't.
I'm used to the suffering.
Yeah.
I just pop a Tylenol and I'm just used to my teeth hurting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Honestly, just acetaminophen for the win.
Yeah.
Fucking. That's been shitty, but other than that, I just been working, dude. Just trying to get better at my job.
I am just working.
Just trying to get better. That's all. Day after day. And
That's
then
fun.
Fucking planning future.
I'm trying
stuff.
to plan my summer.
Yeah.
I got a few things I want to do over the summer. But I just got to get finals out of the way. Depending on how that goes will depend on how my summer goes.
Yeah, because if you fail your finals, you'll just kill yourself, I assume.
Yeah.
Made sense.
Yeah. So.
No, but yeah, as I mentioned, like May is like the gateway to heaven.
And by the time May rolls around, I'll be done with everything.
Yeah.
Just about.
See, May's just gonna be good all around.
May is just gonna be a good month, I think.
But I had a note on our notes that just says to fuck me to Valhalla and back.
Yeah. I figured that had to do with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, the Wrath of the Druids DLC that was supposed to come out in 5 days got pushed back to May.
Bruh.
Got pushed back to like May 13th, so that's sad. But now, that also sparked the other point I had, which was May is going to fuck me to Valhalla and back because May, Chris.
Jordan.
I don't remember the exact dates, but May 7th, we have Resident Evil Village.
And we have to play that for the podcast.
Yeah.
That's just a thing.
I got Village, which I'm actually hyped for. I watched someone play through 7 again, so I could kind of get a refresher.
Yeah,
Man,
I haven't pre-ordered it yet, just because I'm like, $59.99 really hurts. I used to like just buy games like that all the time. I'm like, man, I'm a lot more tight-fisted now.
Yeah, understandable. Things are a lot different now, you know. That's how I am too, dude. I'm fucking a cheapskate at this point.
Well, because that happened was like I just keep buying stuff, and then there was a point, like around January, where I was switching into the job I'm in now. I was like, I'm just out of money. Like I need more. I'm gonna stop doing this.
Yeah, for sure. That's the thing. But so we got Village, right? Then I have the Valhalla expansion, which I gotta sink into. Then we have Mass Effect.
Well, Mass Effect, the Valhalla expansion is the 13th. Mass Effect is the 14th. You got 24 hours.
You know what the 18th is?
What's the 18th?
Days Gone on PC.
Oh, also, you know what's May 10th?
My anniversary? What?
May 10th, I think, is... Happy anniversary. Is Subnautica Below Zero. Official release.
There we go. We can both slack. We'll beat Village, and then we'll both slack on Mass Effect.
On Mass Effect. I'll play Subnautica, because I played the first update they released March 2019. Or was it 2020? March 2019.
19, yep.
I played that first bit of the game they released. I'm like, this has way more substance here in this 20 minutes of content than the entirety of Subnautica, which Subnautica,
it's already a good game.
Original game has a story.
Yeah.
But it's very much like you have to discover the story.
Kind of like The Forest, almost.
Yeah, and there's like different... Same idea with The Forest. There's like different caves you have to go into to get certain things, to go to the bottom, to do the thing to get the facility.
The whole boop-a-da-boop.
Yeah. Subnautica is very much like, you need to go here, scan this, go there, scan that, and then you get a thing to go down, and then you get more things to go down further, and then you eventually go down to like 1,800 meters or something, and you meet the big sea emperor, and you cure your virus, and the little sea emperor babies.
But yeah, dude, I kind of have a problem though, because I'm playing Valhalla expansion. It's fact. I'm gonna have to sink into that. But I also really am dying to replay Days Gone, so I'm just gonna play all three at the same time, I think. But I'm really thinking my focus is gonna be Valhalla needs to get beat because that's new and I'm fucking hyped. Days Gone is gonna be like my enjoying game, unless the PC port is just bad, which is
Days
possible.
Gone's that the zombie game with the guy on the motorcycle, right?
Yeah. And then
I heard
Mass
a lot
Effect.
of mixed reviews from that. Like when it initially came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's okay," and a lot of people were like, "It's not that great."
So user review on average is it's really good. Metacritic is it's bad.
It's usually very split. And it honestly depends on the game. A lot of games are like, oh, the people who actually played this game the full way through don't like it, and the people who played 25 minutes of a tech demo of this game really like it.
Yeah.
The people who got the people who got review copies and incentives from the developers
love
the game.
Yeah. The you know what else is kind of interesting? So Days Gone 2, right around the release date was announced for Days Gone on PC. Days Gone developers talked about Days Gone 2 having been shut down in early 2019 by Sony.
Oh, really?
Because for whatever reason they stopped the idea. So
why would they release the first game if they weren't going to plan on the second one? I feel like it would be a great thing to coincide. Do like, oh, we're going to release this on PC. By the way, there's number 2 coming out soon.
Yeah. So, with that said, I think the PC thing is they're trying to get more people to see
play
it.
the game.
Yeah. The more, if all of a sudden the PC port, everyone's like, wow, this game is really good. A bunch of people played it. Now they might take the Days Gone too.
Financially, I think that game flopped financially.
It didn't flop, but it did meet expectation. Yeah.
Like,
it wasn't like a hard flop.
I heard about it the day it released, and then nothing else.
Yeah. So
nothing else.
PC port is supposed to kind of gather hype for it, but also there's a petition for Days Gone 2 because let me tell you. Let me describe Days Gone to you in a few words, right? It's a long game, okay? Combat's pretty good. World is really cool looking. The motorcycle's fucking awesome. The story is incredible. Does it drag on? Yeah, a couple places, but it's incredible.
Oh.
And the cliffhanger that it ends on is fucking insane.
You get that with any long game, really.
It drags on, yeah.
Like The Witcher,
Valhalla.
Eventually that starts to kind of drag.
True. Odyssey.
Red Dead, that starts to drag at some point.
Red Dead 2 as well, if you weren't talking about 2 already.
Both of them, really.
Both of them, yeah.
Like, there's a lot of portions in Mexico in Red Dead 1 where I'm like, ugh.
I just want to shoot guys, come on. Let's get this done with.
Come on, I don't have any attachment to this story. I don't care.
Yeah. But, it's so good, dude. Days Gone. Oh, I fucking love it. The motorcycle is just so cool. Like, there's no better motorcycle game out there. And just from a story perspective, it's so goddamn interesting. Like, every part of that. And the best part is, all the shortcomings of the game, it was revealed, and I'm using air quotes, that all the shortcomings of the game, so where people were like, yeah, this story point didn't make sense, was Sony stepping in to tell them, hey, you have to change this, because it had a different flow originally, and Sony was like, no.
That's usually how it goes. You see it a lot in music industry, where just one incident I can think of off the top of my head was in 2017. What year was that? When Post Malone released Rockstar, he had, I forget who was featured on it. But essentially what had happened initially was the rapper, much more talented rapper, Joey Badass, wrote the song along with Post Malone and was originally featured on the song. But the studio didn't think Joey Badass would draw enough names, so he had to have someone else on the song. Damn. I forget who. I'll have to look at it now.
Damn, bro, that's rough. They did him dirty, huh?
Yeah, they kind of did. Let me look this up right now, just so I don't. 21 Savage was on the song. It was originally supposed to be Joey Badass on the song, who's a much more talented rapper.
I've never even heard of him, so their opinion on that is correct, but also if he's much more talented.
21 Savage, I believe, had just released an album at the time.
And was probably getting mad hype, yeah.
So.
But, yeah, May is going to be nuts. However, I did have a disappointment recently.
Oh, really?
Did you by any chance watch the Oculus Gaming Showcase? I talked to you about it at work
You
a
did
little
talk
bit.
to me about it. I don't watch those sorts of things.
So
I thought it was gonna be like a situation when you said you had a disappointment. I thought it was gonna be like me, like you looked in the mirror. That's when I have a disappointment. Like, oh
True.
man, I'm still alive.
Oh shit.
Damn,
So
shit kind of sucks.
the Oculus Gaming Showcase.
Yeah,
There
yeah. I
wasn't
don't
wasn't
watch
much.
big events like that.
There
Because
wa-
it's usually just.
It's usually There wasn't much known about it up until launch. It was just, hey, this is Oculus's first gaming showcase. It's always been Facebook Connect. Now it's Oculus Gaming Showcase. So we're like, oh, cool, right? Anticipation was through the roof. It's like, hey, at the last Facebook Connect, Ubisoft announced Assassin's Creed VR and Splinter Cell VR. We're gonna get something here.
Okay.
This person announced this. This person announced this. We're ready. We're ready for, like, what's next for the quest, right? And then the show happened, and it was, hey, we're gonna tell you about a game that comes out tomorrow. We're going to tell you about an update for the Climb 2 that comes out tomorrow. We're also going to tell you that Saints and Sinners is getting an expansion sometime in May. And then we're going to tell you about Resident Evil 4 on VR, which we had already announced last week, but we're going to show you brief gameplay, Resident Evil 4 VR, which is cool. And announce another game that was already announced months ago, and just kind of tell you that it's coming this year. And that was kind of it.
Because there was another thing you were excited for.
Airlink?
Airlink.
That's out.
That's what it was called.
Used it last night.
Oh, they actually pushed the update out.
Fucking incredible.
Is it good?
I had one stutter, but it was way better than virtual desktop. It was so fucking good.
I mean, I could forgive one stutter. That's like, I have more stutters than that, really.
It was so good. I was using it. So my brother and I were playing a game, and then he went to go do something, and I was like, I looked on Reddit, and someone said, Airlink is out now, and I was like, oh, shit. So I fucking put on the headset, and I played Blade and Sorcery wirelessly, dude.
Oh, man.
Oh, it was so good. It was cool.
I gotta clean out this space over here with my VR computer in it.
Yeah. But basically, so the biggest takeaway for the new Quest thing is, number one, it now supports 120 hertz, as we had talked about previously on the show. Most games barely even keep it. They stay at like 90, and you have to force it.
Which are games that like
Beat Saber barely stays at 120.
The thing with that is it's interesting that they were like, this is a 90 hertz display, and they were like, it's 120 now. So it's like very much was a 120 hertz display.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it one display or is it two?
It's one. So the Quest 1 is 2 OLEDs.
Yeah,
the Quest 2 is going to be 1 LCD.
That's one LCD. So they just essentially, I'm assuming they found that all the games that were out so far ran at 90 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, this is a comfortable number. And then they unlocked the 120 and said, some games can do it. We don't know. Don't blame us.
Yeah. But, so there's the 120 hertz. Resident Evil 4 VR looks fucking incredible. So I've always wanted to play Resident Evil 4. I played it when I was really young.
I don't have like
but I hate tank controls.
I don't have a huge attachment to the Resident Evil series, which is weird because I'm trying to play Resident Evil 8 when that comes out.
But it's so good. That's why.
But the thing is, like, I really liked 7, but I see, like, gameplay from
4
the
and
other
5.
ones. I'm like,
yeah.
that's okay.
Resident Evil 4 controls like shit. And
well, does that have the same thing as like Resident Evil, like the first two?
You can't aim and shoot. I mean, aim and walk. You have to stand still.
Does it have the same as like the first two, where it's like a fixed camera angle?
No, it's over the shoulder third person.
Oh, okay.
But
because that was like the 360 that came out, right?
Mm-hmm. But Resident Evil 4 on the Quest, it's looking good because they showed. So the thing I appreciate about at least that was not only did they say, hey, it's VR. You got the obvious stuff like joystick movement, smooth turn, interact with things in the environment, but they actually made the weapons realistic. I hate VR games like Payday 2 VR where you push a button and it reloads. You actually have to reload your guns and cock them, and oh man, it's so cool. So I'm pretty excited for Resident Evil 4 VR.
It's interesting. I like that mechanic in VR, but it has to be refined because VR isn't as precise as we would like it to be. So I ran into that with on H3 sometimes. You have like a mag and you have a gun and the gun's empty and you're just sitting there trying to jam the magazine into the gun for 20 minutes. Like you need to help the player at least a little bit because it's not very precise track. Well, this is with the Vive. And my Vive never had really great tracking to begin with.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Onward, I love Onward. That game, I got so fucking good at speed reloading in that goddamn game.
Well, because I've seen a lot of people do in H3 do like trick reloads.
Yeah, like throw the mag in the air and catch it or
Yeah.
some shit. Yeah, it's fucking cool. But that was really it. That's all the announcements they really made at the gaming showcase. So it was a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
Honestly, the most exciting part is the fact that V28, the new software, is out with AirLink, and it's like pretty fucking awesome.
And then they didn't even like. That's probably the coolest thing they could have announced and didn't.
It had leaked, like, so it was weird how AirLink was found out, right? So someone found source code for it, and then some guy, people were like, oh, we need to hear more, we need to hear more, and Oculus never said anything. So then some guy just, like, reached out to Oculus support, and was like, hey, what's in version 28? And the guy at support was like, oh, AirLink, and this, and this, and this.
That guy got fired.
And
he wasn't supposed to say that.
And then the guy replied and was like, oh, AirLink, what is that? And the guy replied what AirLink was. And then all of a sudden he goes, so when does it release? And the guy said it. Like,
Bruh.
what the fuck? Like, that's
Not,
either...
You don't even have to data mine anymore. They'll just straight up tell you.
Yeah.
That guy definitely got fired. There was no way.
If they found out who it was, which they definitely did, yeah.
There's no way he was supposed to say that.
No. I don't think so.
Because I know how tech companies are. When they have something that's under wraps and they're trying to like make it, even if there's leaks out, they won't go out and confirm it.
Yeah.
They'll say, well, there may be some speculation, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. But so that was cool. I like it. It worked well for me. I'm gonna try it more this weekend, but I'm hoping I don't have the virtual desktop experience with it where it worked good for a couple weeks and then all of a sudden it just shit the bed. I wish I had. I don't remember what they called it. People were saying that AirLink works better because of it has some like packet installed. I forget what it was called. It begins with an A. That just makes it
they have
function.
like their own protocol sort of thing.
Something like that, yeah, where it makes it function better. And one thing it does that's cool that I noticed is it has a variable bitrate essentially. So with virtual desktop, I would get those stutters and just it would be unplayable. I was playing it. I got the stutter and like. As much as it looked like shit, my resolution like halved.
Oh, damn.
But I was still able to play. So, I guess it's one slight advantage over something like virtual desktop because for some reason, even like the quote unquote variable bitrate didn't work for me. Get.
He was being a little bastard earlier.
Yeah, didn't he like almost kill you?
Oh yeah, he like really got my arm. He bit me bad. Look at his bald belly.
Oh, he's still bald. Oh yeah.
The fur's coming back on his arms though.
So, but yeah, you should give AirLink a try once you set up your VR space a little more again, right? Because then
if I ever do that.
Yeah.
If I ever use the things that I pay for.
Have you been playing any games though?
Yeah. I played something recently that I've been meaning to play since I bought it 5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
I played the Talos Principle.
Heard of it? I think we might have mentioned it a couple episodes ago, but I don't remember what it is.
We had mentioned in a couple episodes ago, one of the ones we did virtual
Walking Sims, right?
How I was gonna play that. I wanted to play that.
And how was it?
It was really good. It was a good puzzle game.
Oh, so you beat it?
I finished the game.
Okay.
It was a good puzzle game. It took me like 19 hours or something to beat.
Not bad. Yeah.
And the puzzles were good. Some of them were really tough. I had to actually look some of them up, which I'll admit, like I had to do it. You know, I'm no like puzzle aficionado.
No.
Purists get mad at me all you want. I wanted to finish the game.
I look up puzzles sometimes.
Yeah. So, I look up this certain ones, but basically you finish the game and you find out essentially that you are an android like AI thing in a post-human society. So there's logs throughout the game talking about how humanity is coming to an end essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, well, I guess maybe I should start from the beginning. So basically you wake up and you're greeted by a voice.
Kind of like GLaDOS at all?
Sort of, yeah. But it's called Elohim. You're supposed to listen to Elohim. And he guides you through certain things. And he says, they introduce like kind of a good and evil character. They have like Elohim and then there's a computer that you talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, he says, Elohim tells you, after you do the first couple puzzles. You go to the temple, and then you go like up an elevator, and there's 3 buildings, which are like your 3 worlds for the puzzles, and then there's a big tower. And he says, well, if you do all 3 buildings, if you do all the puzzles, you get eternal life. But don't touch the tower. So essentially, there's 2 endings. Well, I guess there's 3. But the third one just kind of sucks. There's 2 endings. There's the eternal life ending, which means you listened to the program, which means you don't have free will, meaning you technically have eternal life because it just runs another simulation. So the AI learns more to get free will.
I gotcha.
If you climb the tower, it means you defied the program, meaning you have free will, meaning you inherit this physical android in the physical world in a post-human society, essentially.
That's actually pretty cool. And what's that shitty third one?
That's because each of the levels have, or some of the levels have stars that you can get, which are like extra difficult puzzles you have to do. And if you get all of the stars, you become what's called a messenger, which is,
a mailman?
No, a messenger is like helps other instances of this simulation, other instances of this AI solve the puzzles. Okay. You can like awaken messengers. There's certain tombs you can go into. You can awaken messengers, and they'll give you help on certain puzzles.
Oh, so
I didn't do any of the puzzles because I'm like, that's kind of lame. So I just did. I did all the things, and then I climbed the tower. And it goes like, it gives a bunch of things, and it would say like, independence check passed, or if you went to if you followed what Elohim told you to do, and did the eternal life ending, it'll say confidence check or independence check failed, essentially, and then you get rebooted back into the server, and it happens again, basically.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool plot for a game, and I like that little plot twist. Yeah, that is cool. That is actually really cool.
So,
19 hours, not bad. How much is the game? Is it like 20?
I have no idea. I bought it a long time ago.
You bought it like 5 years ago, you said. That's cool. I still
want
to get the
it
Outer
on
Wilds.
sale pretty good.
True. I have seen it on sale for pretty cheap. I still want to get the Outer Wilds at some point. But the way May's looking, it's going to be like a June, July game.
Yeah, I have, like I said, I did play a little bit of that game, and the concept's very interesting. It's just I have to, like, dedicate more effort to the game.
Yeah.
Because you have to, like, kind of learn the flying controls and, like, know how to navigate the ship a lot better.
Yeah, not just get sucked into a black hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would help.
Because you get yeeted to the other side of the solar system, and then to what's called the white hole station. So essentially, it does the opposite and yeets you back to that planet.
Really?
But it only does it at certain times.
Like time of day type of thing?
Yeah. Like at certain points within the orbit.
Yeah.
So it's like I got there and I saw that they weren't aligned, and I was like, okay, that's fucking annoying. I'm not gonna wait this out.
Yeah.
And there's no just like suicide button.
Oh.
There should just be one.
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
You should just have like a gun. Just like
you hit the button.
You hit the button, he just blows his brains out, and that's it.
I also want to make a correction to something I said couple like two episodes ago, I think. Remember the game I talked about, Wraith Oblivion?
Yeah.
So that came out. I fucking love it. I would shit my pants in the night playing it. But when I was editing that episode, I realized that you asked, "Do you play as a Wraith?" And I said, "No, you hide from a Wraith." But correction, you are a Wraith, but you also hide from other Wraiths and specters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it like a Wraith on Wraith violence happening?
Wraith on Wraith, yeah. That game is like actually genuinely horrifying though in VR.
Really?
I've been playing it on the Quest 2.
Well, it's in VR.
It's super fucking scary, dude.
I haven't played VR horror games because VR horror games are a different breed of game.
I've been forcing myself to do it, and it's a really good game, and the story is really cool, and the visuals are fucking impressive for a Quest 2 game. But what I will say is I was getting a little frustrated because there's basically, you have this guy, what's your name, Bartley? No, that's the house owner, I believe, Bartley or whatever. whatever your name is, Brian, we'll just say, and you die. And
you just die.
You wake up, or whatever, as a wraith, stuck on this mansion that you died in. So now you have to solve your murder, essentially.
That's fair.
And there's basically, after, I'm about like maybe an hour and a half in, there's a point where you have to collect 5 personal items to then put in a circle to do like a cult fucking thing to, get more information. And one of the items is hidden in an office of, I think, like the manager, the mansion owner, Mr. Barclay. And you sneak in there, and you have this voice, this wraith version of yourself that's talking to you the whole time. So you sneak in there, and you fucking go do your thing, and he's like, hey, we're not alone, or whatever. And you're like, okay. So you go into like a hallway, go into an office, and you get a key. And when you get the key, you hear like, is that you, Mr. Barclay? And you turn around, and there's like this fucking 12-foot tall dude with a gun. And then he just vanishes, right? That part was pissing me off, though, because when you die, you go back to your last save. There's no checkpoint. So the save before that is like maybe 5 minutes. I got the key, went into the office, unlocked it, got the voice recorder, and then the wraith version of you was like, hey, he's coming, hide. I hid in the closet, and it's RNG, what closet he searches, and he kept fucking getting mine.
Oh, it's RNG.
And I kept resetting. But then eventually I realized that if you can kind of get past him there, you can just fucking outrun him. You just shut the door.
Like in Outlast, it's always, if the enemy guy doesn't see you get into the locker, he will always open the one next to you.
Yeah. Yeah, just to hold that suspense.
Always kind of look in there. If there's none next to you, he'll just kind of look in there and walk away.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's fucking scary, dude. It's super cool, though. I definitely recommend it, but it's obviously scary. It's a $40 game, though, so it is a bit pricey.
Bruh. How long is it?
Like I said, I'm about 2 hours-ish in, and it says I'm like 20% completed, I think. So do the math. It'd be like about 10 hours, maybe. So I was trying to play VR a bit. Airlink with that. Fucking Wraith. The new Walking Dead expansion, which would be cool. It's a free expansion, too. I forgot to mention that. Aftershockers, I believe it's called. So I am excited for VR. But I also kind of just want games to, funny enough, slow down for a little bit. Because I got all those other games in May.
Well, because here's the thing. Is nothing happened
in
for
April.
like a year.
Oh, well, yeah. Even like a year, yeah.
And then every game came out.
Yeah. Well, especially like I'm thinking like very recently, like April. Nothing came out.
What has happened since Cyberpunk for like big releases?
Let me look.
I'm thinking like AAA. What has happened?
Let's find out. I'll pull it up right now.
I imagine everyone was kind of biding their time. It was like, oh, Cyberpunk's gonna be huge.
Huge, yeah. Well, remember the Medium? Like I said, they delayed their game.
Yeah.
Because
so they probably were biding their time, saying Cyberpunk's gonna be huge. And then they decided, well, we're going to push all our game releases out a few months. And then it wasn't huge.
At all. So
it was a huge failure.
Cyberpunk, was that was 2020,
That
right?
was December 2020.
December, so...
It was December 10th. Or 19th. I don't remember.
Let's see. So, January. The biggest release was Hitman 3, it seems like.
Holy shit, that came out.
That's for January. Nothing too major. February, Control on the next-gen consoles, but...
I remember I got a video of my recommended the other day that had Hitman 3 in the title, and I was like, oh yeah, that game exists. I totally forgot that came out.
Little Nightmares 2 was another one for February, but primarily it was just the re-release of Control on next-gen consoles.
Bruh.
March, what do we have in March?
Something had to have come out in March. Surely.
Nothing. Basically nothing.
And nothing's come out this month either.
March, nothing. There's literally just nothing here that is of any sort of interest. I'm surprised. I could have sworn there was something. I guess Outriders came out in April, but that ended up kind of flopping. But
and then May it's all on top of each other.
Yeah, and then May you have Resident Evil Village, Assassin's Creed Valhalla DLC. You got fucking Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Subnautica, Days Gone, SnowRunner on the Switch. You got Knockout City from EA. You got Biomutant. Biomutant is coming out in May. That is one of the most hyped games for some people. That was announced, I'm pretty sure, back when like halfway through last gen. halfway
Really?
through Xbox One. Yeah.
I've heard of, I think I've heard of that. What is
It's
the
not even
premise of
coming
that?
out on next gen. That's how old it is.
What's the premise of that game?
Let me pull it up so I don't butcher it, but let me see. So, Biomutant, releasing May 25th, 2021.
Bruh.
Come on, it's gotta be something here. Biomutant. Let me look it up by itself.
Well, I guess it makes sense because
Oops.
who plays video games? Kids, and they're getting off school soon.
Yeah. So it's an action role-playing game developed by Swedish developer Experiment 101. THQ Nordic is publishing it, and then let's see what the gameplay is about.
Or maybe a lot of colleges seem to think that college students are in the same situation in the summer. Bitch, I got a full-time job in the summer.
Yeah.
The fuck?
So, Biomutant is basically a third-person perspective game in which a player takes control of a mammalian warrior in a world filled with mutated animals. The first thing the character is to custom. What the fuck is this? Not worded right. First thing for the player to do is to customize their own character. So you get to basically change your sets, length, body shape, and thickness, fur, and fangs. Okay.
So it's Spore.
Basically, a thicker character is heavier but makes it slower. Blah blah blah. So essentially, what if I remember correctly?
Yeah, baby, Spore 2! Spore 2 is coming out, baby, yeah!
It's basically a large RPG where you're just like this customizable creature.
It's Spore 2, Jordan.
So, it seems cool, and a lot of people I know were super hyped for it, so I'm surprised that it's coming out in May. And I haven't heard much about it.
I had to recharge from that. I'm normally very low energy, so when I exert something like that, I gotta fucking recharge.
But yeah. Recharge.
Yeah.
Everything though in May. God
Everything
damn.
in May.
May is gonna be gnarly, dude.
Damn.
I can't wait for Days Gone on PC. Can't wait for the fucking Valhalla DLC. I'm still butthurt though. We didn't get anything about like Assassin's Creed or Splinter Cell VR. That fucking Quest showcase. Really hoping for it. I didn't expect anything good though.
I want to see more big money in VR.
Yeah, I mean Oculus is the only one that's like actually pumping money in because they're giving money to developers to make games and shit.
Yeah, that's fair because the games are what sell the platform.
Yeah.
But like a studio like Ubisoft, they're not gonna just shit out a brand new IP for VR.
No.
You know what I mean? Or like Rockstar, they're not gonna spend 6 years developing a game and then put it on the Quest.
You know what pisses me off about Rockstar with VR? You know what pisses me off about Rockstar with VR?
What's that?
You ever play the VR LA Noire game?
I have not.
They did such a good job with that game, but then they made it like a demo.
Bruh.
You pay, I think it's $20 or $30 for this game, and instead of it being the full LA Noire game,
don't you
it
only
just
get,
sits
like, a
random
couple
cases.
Of the cases, yeah.
Yeah, you get like 6 random ones instead of it being the full game, and it's so good. Like, it's one of the only VR games I know of that you can drive the car in by physically turning the wheel in VR and driving.
You know what game I want to get? It's on my Steam wish list. It's called Wrench. It's a VR like mechanic sim.
I've seen a lot of people talk about that.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be.
Because I want to build a sim racing setup for like American Truck Simulator and shit like that.
That game is fun. That game is cool.
I haven't played it because I haven't had my racing wheel set up because my racing wheel, this is like, mind you, this is like a $300 setup.
Really?
The wheel, the pedals, and the shifters, like $300.
Mm-hmm.
And Logitech decided we're gonna make the clamps the only thing that hold the wheel onto your desk. We're gonna make them out of the worst thing possible. And then the clamp on the shifter is gonna be really good.
Yeah.
So the thing that's moving around all the time, the wheel, is like constantly, I'll take a turn and rip the wheel off my desk.
Really?
I'm like, this would be so much better if the clamps weren't piles of shit.
Yeah.
And the shifter it should have just had clamps like these, like the boom arms. But they're like plastic, like polyester things, like hooks that you tighten up. And then the tighten mechanism isn't even that good. The shifter has like that, and it has like a plastic screw, and they meet in the middle. And you can actually tighten it so you can do normal shifts like you would normally.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of guys do, shut up, phone. I've seen a lot of guys do builds for like American Truck Simulator and truck simulators in general. You can get like you know how like a truck has like a very long throw shifter because it's got to go all the way to the floor. They have setups like that where it extends out the shifter.
That's funny.
And
That's
there's
cool.
buttons. You can have setups like an actual truck where there's different buttons for like air brakes and stuff like that and your blinkers and whatever. And you can have like a switch for like your transfer case. So you can actually do instead of just having the 6-speed shifter and then having to do paddles for everything else, you can change the ranges. So you can do like one low, one high, two low, two high.
That's cool. Yeah.
So you can do all like 12. You can do 12 different speeds.
Yeah, speeds instead of having just the set. That is pretty fucking sick, actually.
So that's pretty cool. I might work on something like that. A lot of money in that though. I've seen guys do like they have that like a $3,000 thing they put in their chair that simulates the movement of the truck. So if you take a turn, it has like a piston that goes and sends you to the left. You know?
We should do that. That'd be cool.
I don't got that kind of money.
Get it.
Fuck you think I am?
Get it.
What, you think I'm rich?
Get it.
No.
All right, whatever. Whatever, man. Never float your boat. Just know. You could always have one. We're going to make one. We'll make one.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to do it with like hydraulic lines too, so it's like a half ton of force pushing up on me at all times.
Yeah. You just eject you through the ceiling or send you into the wall.
So I take a left turn and all of a sudden I get launched through the wall into the concrete foundation of the house.
Yeah.
Or like you have an incident. Have you ever seen that video of the guy? He's playing a racing sim and he crashes and he actually like goes
and he does really fucking cool. He like whips forward and then,
I would do that. That's gonna happen to me. Because so good. In American Truck Simulator, there's checks in that game where like you're supposed to follow traffic laws and stuff, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
So, you know, and the traffic AI is actually interesting. I saw a video where a guy went to like break a lot of the laws that are in place in the game, and was like, there was people going slow in front of him on the highway, and he was riding their ass, and they move.
Yeah.
That's crazy
cool.
to me.
Yeah, that's
that they can just put that in a game.
It's crazy to me that they can put that in a game, and then you get like the Cyberpunk cars.
The Cyberpunk cars, which are on set paths.
Yeah, and don't even stop.
I think they did an update on AI, didn't they?
Yeah. I heard it didn't fit all of those, but it fits most of it.
It'd be nice if the game actually had functioning like police AI and stuff.
Yeah, police no longer spawn when you.
They actually show up and chase you.
Yeah, as far as I know, anyway.
That'd be a lot. That would have made the game a lot more interesting the first time I played it.
Yeah, instead of just doing your crime. That shocked me the first time. Like,
that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because I ran someone over. I was like, okay, this is like GTA.
Yeah,
right?
I saw the
like
police.
A star or something, and then they show up. No, I hit someone and then police were behind me.
Well, I was doing a side mission.
And they were just shooting like 85 rounds a second into my car.
I was doing a side mission and I chased down this guy in my car. I rammed him into the side of the road. He got out and I fucking killed him. And then I just turned around and there was just like a roadblock with like 7 cops. I get in my car, start driving. There's like another roadblock. They just gunned me down immediately.
Bruh. There was a lot of cool things in that game where, I don't know if they fixed this yet, but the system that brings your car to you sucks.
It sucks. It usually gets it to you, but it's like on fire.
I've had situations where like, did you do the mission where you get Johnny Silverhand's Porsche?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I would drive that car everywhere because it was a Porsche, you know, it was nice. And I'd drive that car everywhere, so I would hit the button and say, deliver me this car, and every time I would get it, it would be in like 6 pieces. What? Who's delivering this car?
Yeah, it's fucking bad. The fucking AI, dude.
Or I had, I forget where I was in the world, but I paged my car, and it was on the other side of a river, and was just backing into stuff. It's like, it was going, burr, 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 and was
Just
vacuuming
smashing
stuff,
into shit.
just smashing itself to death, and all I could do was watch.
Oh no.
My car was smashing itself to death, and then eventually just gave up.
And just sat there, yeah.
And it said, I get the little notification that said your car was unable to find you.
I had a few times my car I'd call it and it would just be sticking out of the ground, like vertically.
Yeah, I've had that too.
Just like, what the fuck?
I'm glad they are fixing that game though.
Yeah, I don't know. The developer went on record to say Cyberpunk will be something to be proud of.
Well, because the before it really got traction, The Witcher 3 was like really buggy when it first released. Like I didn't play it until it had been out for over a year.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, but I almost said Bethesda. CD Projekt Red was a much smaller studio, and no one really expected The Witcher 3 to take off the way it did. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming they just expected it to be sort of a cult classic or like a cult thing, like
for
the
people.
other Witcher games.
Yeah.
So, the fact that it blew up the way it did, and now everyone had those expectations. People who went back after the game had been out 2-3 years.
Played the Game of the Year edition.
The Game of the Year edition were like, oh, this is what I expect from Cyberpunk. And then they release it in sort of the same state.
Yeah.
And then people are disappointed.
Much more ambitious project, too, on paper, technically.
Even when I played The Witcher 3, it still had some weird glitches to it. Mm-hmm. There's a mission, a quest, I forget what you're doing, but you get a key, and it shows that in the cutscene there's a shot where Geralt holds his hand open and there's supposed to be a key there. In my first playthrough, there was just nothing there.
I had one quest bug on the main quest where I couldn't progress. Really? I had to look up like a workaround. So
That happened in Cyberpunk a couple times. I had to restart the game and then for fucking what's his name to call you.
Oh yeah, Takamoru.
Yeah, I think.
Fucking game, dude. Yeah, I had that game I talked about months and months ago. Plague Tale Innocence.
Yep.
There is one game-breaking bug in that game that's guaranteed, but somehow they haven't patched it out. First, you go into this tent, and then you have to crouch down and go out the back, and there's a cutout. The first time you go there, almost every single time, it will be an invisible wall, and you have to like restart the game, walk a few feet away. You have to do like I had to sit in that tent doing laps for about 10 minutes before all of a sudden the game finally fixed itself.
All you have to do, and I don't know too much about game development, but this is like very basic game development. You just have to add a check to say, player has this, and this item, open this entrance.
Yeah. If they really wanted to fix it, it's like get rid of the tent. Just get rid of the fucking tent. You know? Like if they're like, oh yeah, this invisible wall, just get rid of the tent. Make it like a table. Because all you do is crouch into the tent and walk out.
Do you need a thing to get to the tent?
Well, the thing is, what it is there's a chest inside the tent. So I don't see why they can't just make it a table with a chest up against it. Just get rid of the tent around it.
Okay, so you don't need like an item to get to that area.
No, you just walk in, you loot an item, and then you're supposed to sneak out the back, but there's an invisible wall.
Okay, so so what they've done is they fucked up the check to say that you've received the item.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, it's one check they could put in the game. It's like game development 101.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't really know shit about game development, and that's like one of the first things you teach.
Yeah, it's like actual checks for if they have an item.
That's like programming in general.
Yeah.
That's what they teach. It's checks.
Fucking
whatever, man.
Dumb. But that game's so fucking good. I hope we get a sequel.
I've downloaded that game from Game Pass, and that's about as far as I've gotten with it. Because there's a few games from Game Pass that I want to play. Like, I want to play Yakuza 0 and Kiwami and Kiwami 2. I want to do some stuff with Microsoft Flight Simulator, because that looks really cool.
Yeah, I do want to play that. I want to play Prey. That's one thing.
Prey was like, I heard that one kind of flew under the radar when it was released.
Yeah.
Like, people were like, and then I didn't really hear anything about it, but I heard it was decent.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard it's really good. I watched a YouTuber play some of it. I want to watch the whole thing, or play it, or whatever, but it seems really cool. I just am not.
What's another game I downloaded off of Game Pass? I have a bunch of games that I've downloaded from Game Pass. Then a few that I want to do when I have my sim set up. I want to do Forza, all the Forza games.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Forza Horizon 4, even though it's a bit old.
Oh, it's so good, though.
But, I think it has all that stuff built in where you can
shift and shit like that.
Like I'm surprised SnowRunner doesn't have that.
It doesn't?
No, there's no like wheel integration.
That's pretty dumb. It seems like the perfect game for it.
I think you can integrate the wheel and the pedals, but that's about it.
No shifter or anything.
No, because the game, the way it works essentially is, since you have different ranges, I don't know if the game has, I don't know if it's a limitation of the game engine or whatever, that they can't tell when you're in low range and can't shift, or when you're in auto and can shift, or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually, but I think they're trying to work towards a full integration.
Yeah.
But haven't done it yet. But they're a pretty small studio, so...
Yeah, and the game itself is already so good, but it would be way cooler with a wheel of pedals.
I suppose I could look through the Discord, and if there's no info on it, I could probably DM literally one of the creators of the game.
Yeah,
because they're like really active in their
That's
community.
the beautiful thing. We talked about that episodes ago too.
Yeah, there's one of the devs, like, you can just literally talk to him.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's fucking cool. But yeah, I have a couple Game Pass games that I want to play too, but I just don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just don't. I just do not. Oh shit! Round us out, puppy-o.
So that's the end of the episode. I've been your host, Chris. Jordan has been your host, Jordan.
Thought I was the co-host. Did I get promoted?
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the show. Remind everyone where they can find us.
Chris, I really think I need to be fired. I fuck it up every time. Because
just don't.
Because on the intro, I gave everything right. I said Spotify this time. But you know what I didn't say?
The email.
Yeah.
Damn. So Jordan, where can they find us? You gotta remind everyone at the end of the episode. It's a call to action.
It is a call to action. So you can contact us.
They teach that in those YouTube courses on how to be a YouTuber.
Oh, really?
You need a call to action in every video.
Smash the like button.
Smash the like. Smash that bell. Smash the subscribe button. Smash your computer. Smash your house. Smash your car. Smash your skull. Die.
Anyway, you can contact us at synapsemisfire@pm.me. That's via email. Comments, questions, concerns, death threats. We'll read them out on the show. You can always comment. Give us a nice little hefty comment. Just, tell us how much you love us. And you can find the show. If you're interested in listening to the podcast portion, you can find it on YouTube, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Breaker, and of course Pocket Casts. We're in those apps natively. You can also take our RSS feed, import that to your favorite podcasting app. Check us out. Check us out there, wherever the fuck you want. And look out for our Shouty at Best IRL content on here on the main YouTube page. All linked down below. Down below.
Get out of my house.
Yeah, you can actually say it now. All right, bye. Fuck you all. Oh, that's going to sound like a rape on the mic.
He's leaving.
I am.
He's actually doing it. The madman.
You just hear a gunshot.
He's blown his own brains out.